And we are live. I'm super excited about this. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think there may be a slight delay, and so you might see me kind of bending over when this first starts. But I am here. I am ready. We are live. We even have the live studio audience. I love it. It includes my cats. Catsby, come, Catsby. They get so confused when I do this. They're like, what the fuck is happening, Twanna? But they get really thrilled. So I hope you're thrilled too. I'm excited to be here. And go ahead and drop a hello or tell me where you are in the comments, because I always like to kind of see who's here. And someone reminded me, because it shows me the number of people who are watching, and I always forget there are people watching who aren't commenting. And so you have to be logged into YouTube to comment. And so people were texting me, which I saw later after the last one, saying, I wanted to comment, but I hadn't logged in, so I was just watching. So if you are logged in and you are able to comment and you want to, that would be fantastic. Hello, Paul. Good to see you. I will continue shouting people out as you drop stuff in there, and I might ask you all questions and things like that. So let's get started. Are you excited? Woohoo! Hey, I'm excited. And we even have wine too. Look at this. Ooh, ooh. Okay, good. Let's get started. So sexual health and COVID-19. I've been doing this almost 2 months now. And when we started, the impetus was there's a lot of advice and guidance about COVID-19, physical distancing, wash your hands, but not a lot of guidance about sex. And I'm seeing more guidance about sex. So I'm excited about that. We continue doing these every other Tuesday and just different aspects about sexual health and COVID-19. And so today, this came from Twitter. It's so amazing where great ideas come from. I was tweeting about sexy movies on Netflix, and Habiba said, Habib, I just saw this comment. Like I said, every now and then I will interrupt to say hi to y'all here. That's the advantage of being here live. We can actually interact with each other. And Marissa says, nice tits. She says, I mean top, nice top. Thank you. Yes, we are back with the cleavage. The girls are back. If you watched last week's show, which I highly recommend, we had a whole conversation about cleavage and women and clothes and all of these things. So thank you, everyone. The girls, thank you as well. So here we go. So like I was saying, a lot of you all are stuck in your house and you have blown through your Netflix list. You've watched Too Hot to Handle. You've watched Love is Blind. You saw, what else? What else is on Netflix?
Tiger King.
Yes! Oh my God, how could I forget? You saw Tiger King. You've seen them all. And so now you're like, I need something else to watch. I'm interested in finding something else. And so here's what we're going to talk about today. Film. I'm going to tell you the secrets of how to find the sexy shit on Netflix, because it's not always like upfront and featured, but you can burrow within there and find really sexy stuff, unsimulated sex, nudity, a lot of things that you may be like, oh my God, I can't believe that's on Netflix. It's there. So I'm going to tell you how to find that. We'll also talk a little bit about how to find feminist porn, because sometimes when people hear the word porn, they're like, oh, that's so cheesy, right? Or, oh, it's just the stuff I watch when I want to whack off. It's not actually interesting, so just sexy. So we'll talk a little bit about feminist porn and where to find that. And then I have a surprise. I couldn't even get the word out. I was so excited. I have a surprise for you. As we talk about intimacy, sex, film, all of these things, remember, these movies that you're watching had to be filmed. They're filmed with real actors. So when you see kissing, they're actually kissing. Sometimes when you see sex, they're actually having sex. Or when they're hugging, you see all of these things. So now think about COVID, right? And when we go back to production, what does it mean? Like, when actors can't necessarily hug and kiss and have sex and do all the things that we're being told not to do. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. I had a conversation, a great one, with a woman who's just getting started as an intimacy coordinator. And these are coordinators, consultants that the film industry and television industry are bringing onto productions to actually supervise and kind of give feedback and consult on sex scenes to make sure everybody's happy, safe, healthy, and give a little feedback there. And so we actually had a conversation. And if you hang on to the end, you're going to get the link. I'm going to drop the link so you can watch the whole video. I recorded it just for you, love bugs. So I've got that. So we check the chats before we've got that. Got a hey girl, hey from Marissa. We've got Paul. This is great. And again, If you have questions or anything, or just thoughts or whatever, or comments about my boobies, feel free to leave those in the comments as we go. So let's get started. Let's talk about some Netflix and where to find the juicy stuff. What's a synonym for juicy? What else? The what stuff? The fun? The what should we say?
Juicy.
Delicious.
Delicious, sexy, fun.
Sexy, fun. Exactly. All of those things. Okay. So first things first. When you go to Netflix first, it comes up and it's like playing a video and all these things. You're like, like freaking out. So go to the sexiest movie that you can remember watching. One that had a sexy scene, somebody maybe shirtless, some dude with like abs, so like whatever. Just the sexiest film that you can remember watching on Netflix. So 2 ways in which you can find films that will have that kind of things. One, Netflix films are categorized. So it'll say Dutch films, or it'll say romantic comedies, or different things like that. One of the categories is steamy. And so if you find the sexiest movie that you can imagine, there's a category, it may be tagged steamy. And if you click any of those categories, you can actually find all of the other movies that were tagged with that tag. So you can find all the other movies that Netflix considers steamy. So that's one way to find them. So you can do that. And if you're like, I can't think of a sexy movie that had a sex scene in it that I really liked right now, I'll make it easy for you. I'll give you a few tips. There are a couple directors that you can just start with. So Gaspar Noé, and this is not an endorsement for their films because some of these people are controversial. So let's start with Gaspar Noé. So we'll start with him. His film, Love, I think it's just called Love. So if you put that in, that's in there. So find that one. I'm sure it's tagged steamy. What was the one with Halle Berry's dude, the French guy, Olivier Martinez? What was that one? Olivia Martinez and then Diane.
Unfaithful.
Unfaithful was a sexy movie. And so I bet if you go into Unfaithful, that's probably tagged steamy. What else? She's Gotta Have It. Spike Lee. That's on Netflix. If you go there, that's probably tagged steamy. And so find one of these movies that has that steamy tag, click steamy, and then that's one way to find it. So there you go. That's one pointer. And again, back to the comments, and I'm going to say, hey, Biba. Hey. Good to have you. This was Biba who actually suggested that. Because on Twitter, I was like sharing all these movies, and she's like, that would be a good topic for your show. I was like, absolutely. So credit where credit is due. Thank you for the great suggestion. And here we are. I'm open to all kinds of ideas and feedback. I love it. So there you go. So that's one pointer. Another pointer. So now that you've found a steamy movie, or you're looking at the steamy category, and you're trying to find, something that's similar to it, you'll probably notice when you see a film on Netflix, underneath it has this you might like or similar to, like other films that are likely to be, according to their algorithms, something that you would like as much as you like the film that you are viewing, right? So that's another way. If you have one of those films up and you're like, this was great, find one of those. So that's a nice, quick, easy way to find a sexy film on Netflix that may not show up on their featured category or may not be trending or top 10 in the United States or all these other ways in which they feature specific movies on the front page. So there you go. If you have Netflix, that is some of the ways in which you can find those. So say you don't have Netflix. If you have Hulu, do the same thing. A lot of them have these same tags and all of the ways in which they categorize their films. Or if you're like, okay, I want something different, that's playtime. You're talking about Netflix. Where do I find good porn? Where do I find good, interesting, smart smut? Where can I find that? So here's some tips for that too. So I want to say about this, first of all, so much to say, but couple things. First thing that comes to mind is, what do you mean by good and what do you mean by porn, right? Because you can go to YouPorn, you can go Erica Lust, feminist pornographer. I think it's called X Confessions or something like that. You sign up, it's like $3 a month or $2. I don't know the exact price. Look it up. X Confessions, Erica Lust. Similar model would be Make Love Not Porn, where you're paying like a flat rate for good, sensibly sourced, ethically produced porn is the idea behind these kinds of sites, right? So you can totally sign up for one of those to get some information there and find better porn. The other thing, ooh, I like this, and some suggestions are coming in. If you do not watch this live, you miss out. From Kathy, we have look for a film called Two Moon Junction, which I have not seen, but I will watch because if you're suggesting it, I bet it's good. So I'll watch that one too. So that'll be good. So yeah, we were talking about youth porn, other places that you could go. We talked about Erica Lust. We talked, oh yeah, I wanted to make sure to talk about also thinking differently about the way we talk about porn or conceive porn. You can read sexy things. One of my BFFs, Rachel Kramer Bussell, writes a shit ton of erotica, and I usually give it away at my shows. And so if you go to if you go to her site, I bet it's rachelkramerbussell.com or Google Rachel Kramer Bussell. I'm sure there's only one, RKB. And so you can find her stuff there, all of her books. She's pumping out anthologies, and they're good and they're diverse. And so I highly recommend those too. And just like check it out. And so find what you're looking for. Find something that's interesting. You may want a specific thing. Maybe you're like, I want to see beautiful black love on screen. You can find that. Maybe you're like, I want to see threesomes, or I want to see lesbian couples. Like whatever you are looking for, you can find that visually on these different sites. And so that would be my recommendation. Find something that works for you. Ooh, yes, I love this. Biba's suggesting a Netflix watch party. I'm down. I'm totally down for doing a Netflix watch party, and we can have commentary about the sexiest scenes in film. If you have not done Netflix watch party, or people use house party or Zoom or whatever you want to use, basically here's the idea. You start screening something on your screen. You start streaming something on your screen. And then you load some kind of app or Chrome extension or whatever that enables you to sync that across different people. And so you can all watch it exactly the same time. And they'll usually have a chat box on the side, much like we have here with the live screen. So you can see people commenting on it. You can like comment about the stuff that you're seeing. You can post things, get feedback. So I think we should do it and be offline. We're totally going to schedule this. We're going to have a sexy like movie night party and like have popcorn, some drinky drinks. I should sip it. It's hot. It's like 90 degrees in DC. Drinky drinks and watch a show. So there we go. So that was film and all those. And I just want to say, like, I love film. So before we talk about the intimacy coordinator, because our time together is almost over, it goes so fast. But I love film. And during COVID and just in the U.S. with crazy shit happens where like someone's bird watching and gets the cops called on them for racist shit and claiming, I'm sure you've all heard about the story that came out of New York last night, yesterday, and today is when it really hit the news. So when that stuff is happening, or just COVID, or you may know someone who's ill, or you may be afraid of getting ill. You may be old, you may have an underlying health condition, you may be working in a high-risk situation. I mean, so many different people are experiencing COVID in so many different ways. And so I highly recommend take care of yourself during this time, and film is definitely one of those ways in which we can do it. You escape, it's escapism. You see something funny, you see something sexy, you get to be entertained, turned on, what have you, for whatever time you have while you're watching it. So that's what I say with that. Marissa is commenting, I want in. Yes, we're doing this Netflix watch party about a sexy film. I'm so excited about it. This is going to be good. Fantastic. I don't know if we should do it like a public thing and then just announce it and say whoever wants to join in can, or do a small group. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, so the last thing that I want to close on, because these are short, quickie kind of updates, is as we're talking about film, and I mentioned, right, we know that these are real actors. They're kissing, they're hugging, sometimes having sex. These are people. And so as we talk about, like, all of the things that are happening with production stopping, just because when we say, you know, restaurants close, film sets close, like, there isn't a lot of production happening in Hollywood right now, film or TV. And so as these things start opening up and we're told 6 feet apart, what does that mean for romantic comedy where the leads are kissing each other or they're hugging or they're having sex? Like, what does all of this stuff mean? And so I had a fun conversation with a woman who, Sonia is her name. I practiced it because it's spelled Sonya, and my Midwestern vowels want to call it Sanya, and she's like, no. So Sonia Barnett and I had a great conversation. She literally is just starting off as an intimacy coordinator. I think she mentioned she took some training like last summer, so it hasn't even been a year. And so I thought this was a great conversation to have, to talk to someone who is new to the space and was working right before COVID, and then I think she said it was on Valentine's Day that the production stuff that she was working on all got shut down. And she was working on stuff with Jason Momoa in it. So we talk about that too. I was like, wait, Jason Momoa? I literally like caught my spit while I was trying to talk to her because I was like so excited about it. So we talked about that. And so she just talked about like what that's like and what she thinks it'll be on the other side of COVID and filming these intimacy scenes. And I said, similar to what I said to you all here, intimacy is not going to go away on film. We've had film during world wars. We've had film during the 1918 pandemic. Like, I don't know if, I think the Museum of Sex, both in Amsterdam and New York, probably has an online collection, but you can see like smutty, sexy stuff in black and white, like when film was first coming out, like early 1900 type stuff where it's in black and white or whatever. And so you can see this really early stuff. It's sexy. It's got nudity. It's got like sex and all this shit on it too. And so we've had all kinds of things happen throughout the world. COVID's just one more thing. I don't think intimacy on film is going away. If anything, I think people have more of a craving and desire to connect and see love and see connection instead of like doing this isolation that we've all been doing. And so I think intimacy is here to stay. Not only that, what is film and what is storytelling if not intimacy? It's very self. You're getting the story about other people and plugging into it, falling in love with the story or the character, believing that the person you see, Jason Momoa, isn't actually Jason Momoa. He's Aquaman, or he's whoever he is. And so I'm excited about what comes out on the other side of this. And trust me, there will be an other side of this, even when it doesn't feel like it, like some days. Earlier today, I was like, I'm so sick of everything. So we all have our days, we all have our times. So that is the show. And here we say Angela. Oh, Angela, I loved it. All the comments, I just peeked down really quickly to see if I missed anything. Angela's like, I want in too. So we're definitely doing a sexy movie night, and I'll probably live tweet it or something like that. That'll be fun. Maybe, because we do this every Tuesday night at 9, maybe instead of next Tuesday, so not next week, but the week after, instead of doing this, maybe what we do is we do the sexy movie and we tweet it and we have that. I don't think I'll start it at 9 because like I start my day so early. If I start a movie at 9, I'm going to start winding down pretty early. So maybe 8. Yes, I'm that old lady that like falls asleep early. I get up at 6 in the fucking morning. So by midnight, I'm like, I've been up a long ass time. So yeah, we should do that. Okay. So I think this is it. I saw any recommendations. Some of my favorite sexy films. Oh God. Threesome. That was one of the early ones from 1994 or 5. That was the first time that I ever really heard of a threesome. I was a late bloomer. And so I didn't know more than 2 people could have sex. Like I was kind of like mind blown when I saw that. I was like, that looks like a lot of fun. So I see threesome I like. I haven't seen it since then. So it's probably it's always weird to watch a movie that you haven't seen in a long time and you watch it again and you're like, oh my God, it's racist, it's crazy, it's sexist. Who knows? I haven't seen it since then. So it could be bad. So threesome was good. I really liked Unfaithful with Olivier Martinez, whatever his name is. She's Gotta Have It, like the ones I mentioned earlier. I mentioned these because I liked it. Something New was cute. It's not like sexy. There's no nudity or whatever, but I just thought it's cute. You don't see a lot of interracial love couples, and I just thought it was like so cute in a cheesy kind of way. There's this line where he's like, I'm a gardener, not a lover. I'm a lover, not a gardener. A gardener, not a lover, or something like that. It was cheesy. I liked that one. I love The Dreamers. Bertolucci's The Dreamers. He makes some controversial shit too. He made Last Tango in Paris, which I think Brando, who's in that, the director and the actress herself, said that scene where you saw the anal penetration that was not scripted she felt very violated, and she was screaming in the film. She was screaming no, and so you see that like it's awful. And so I think a lot of people have like this is way pre Me Too, have thought a lot about what that means. And Bertolucci is not a stranger to a lot of controversy in his films. But I did love that film, The Dreamers. So it's an American in Paris during this uprisings and the revolutions. And so it's this sexy brother sister, and then this young American boy that comes in and has a very hot love affair with the sister. And so I think that is an interesting one. What else? I could go on forever with sexy movie. And like it's easier if I do by what is it? Like if it was a threesome, if it was a twosome, if it was same. Oh, a bizarre movie. It was called Amor. Adore. It's called Adore. Two mothers, two sons, and stuff happens. Like some of the movies that I would recommend to watch, not because I'm like, oh, that was so good, but it was like I haven't seen this on film, and this is making me think stuff about this, and I'm being challenged here. So that was an interesting one. The mothers obviously are not having sex with their own sons. Spoiler alert, they have sex with each other's sons, and all of the drama that ensues because you've got age variation between this mom with that son and vice versa. And it's got the chick who's the wife in the wife. Yes, Kevin Spacey, the wife, DC, House of Cards.
Oh, Robin Wright.
Robin Wright Penn. Robin Wright is in it. And I always, not Charlize Theron, the woman who looks like her. But anyway, those two are in it. That's good. I liked Closer. I can go on. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. Maybe I'll write a little post or something and say, here's 20 sexy movies that I recommend, because I could go here forever. Okay. Brian commented, wait, what? But I just saw it, so I don't know what the what was about. Was it about my boobies? Is my posture bad? Is that better? Is it better? Kathy said, yes, me too. And so we are doing this video. Okay. All right. That is it. We always try and keep these less than 30 minutes. And so next steps for you. Go to my Twitter at 9:30 p.m. because once I shut this down, what I will do is I will post the link of my conversation with the woman who's doing, starting off with the intimacy coordinator stuff. So you can learn more about what that's like. You could hear about our conversation with Jason Momoa just being slipped in there just a little bit. So that's what we will be able to do. So I think that, it was about my boobs. Okay, there we go. So I think that's everything. Good night, everyone. So 9:30, that gives me 7 minutes to quickly go down there and post it. I'll post it on all my socials. So it'll be on Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff. And at some point, I am going to update my newsletter, and all of these things and other secret goodies will be in there as well. So if you were not subscribed to my newsletter, subscribe as well. There you go. Thank you, everyone. Let's see if we can get one of the kitties in. Fitzy, do you want to come in? Fitzy? 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 Hi. He will scratch my goddamn eyes out if I touch him when he is not ready to be moved. So I'm going to leave him right there. And we will say goodnight. Good night, everyone. Every time I keep trying to say goodnight, Jason Momoa slipped in where? Jason Momoa is slipped into my conversation with the intimacy coordinator. And I'm going to post that in 6 minutes on my Twitter, Facebook, everything. So she's an intimacy coordinator. She's been hired by the production to oversee sex scenes and kissing, all the physical stuff that's happening to make sure everyone feels safe and okay and things like that. One of the shows she's working on has Jason Momoa in it, and she kind of slipped that through when we were talking. I was like, whoa, 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 back that up. We need to talk about that. So you're going to get that video in literally 6 minutes. I'll put it on my Facebook, my Twitter, everywhere. So if we're not linked up together, we need to be so you can get that stuff. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good night. Good night from all of us, including the studio audience too.
Good night.
Hey, good night, everyone. Have a fantastic evening, and we will do this again in 2 weeks. Bye.